England and New Zealand are already trading blows in a brand new ODI series. Sri Lanka just swept Bangladesh in the T20Is. Pakistan is absolutely crushing it against Zimbabwe. Meanwhile, Bangladesh and the Netherlands have dropped their squads for the T20 World Cup. There's a lot to get through. So let's not waste a single second. The White Ferns have arrived in England for a white ball tour, and the opening game gave us everything you could have asked for. A genuine nail biter decided by the slightest of margins. England were missing their regular captain Nat Sciver-Brunt, who was out with a calf injury. So Charlie Dean stepped up as stand-in skipper. And the hosts were a patchwork side with three debutants in the 11. Jody Grewcock, Danny Gibson and Tilly Coleman. England won the toss and chose to bowl first. Early on, things looked decent. Lauren Filer removed the dangerous Susie Bates, while Lauren Bell kept testing both edges of the bat. 8 balls into her debut, and in her first over outside the power play, Tilly managed to induce a fall shot of Georgia Plummer to get her maiden international wicket. Maddie Green and Neely Kerr then decided to take matters into their own hands, forging a 105-run partnership for the third wicket. That stand looked like it was going to take New Zealand well past 250. It was not the quickest of stands, but the Kiwis looked set to go past 250 when Neely Kerr ended a full toss from Grewcock for the latter's first wicket in international cricket. Unfortunately, after Kerr's dismissal, Green kept losing partners at regular intervals before getting out herself for a well-made 88, her fifth 50-plus score in 7 innings this year and one that helped the visitors go past 200. And then, a bad collapse. New Zealand went from 203 for 5 to being bundled out for 210 in the next 20 balls. With 8 balls remaining, England had 211 to chase. That should have been comfortable, right? Wrong. Grewcock was accounted for by Bree Illing early in the innings, before Emma Lamb and Heather Knight dealt with the new ball safely. However, both batters were dismissed in quick succession post-power play to have England tottering at 42 for 3. Batting in the middle order for the first time since her debut, Maya Bouchier and Freya Kemp put up a fantastic 68-run partnership at a decent clip to put their side in pole position. New Zealand needed exactly the kind of luck to dismiss Freya Kemp off the non-striker's end. Amy Jones also did not last long enough as she lobbed one straight to Jessica at cover. Once again, England needed a partnership to make this a successful chase. Gibson seemed to be playing the perfect second fiddle to Bouchier as the latter got to her third ODI 50. And New Zealand managed to strike back as Gibson decided to take Kerr's bait and went after a flighted delivery outside off stump, only to top edge it to Illing at short third. The surface also got the better of the well-set Bouchier as she top-edged one from Kerr to Susie Bates at short mid-wicket. Having slumped to 160 for 7, it looked like they were heading for a capitulation. But the stand-in skipper wasn't done. Dean came in, kept her cool and guided the tail through a tense finish. A 35-run partnership with Lauren Bell and then took the help of Tilly at the other end to scrap home by 1 wicket. The feeling had already been a mess, with England coming into the series talking about how much they'd improved on that facet, only to go on to promptly drop catches and fumble through the day. New Zealand did themselves no favour either, as Nancy Patel dropped a fairly straightforward chance of Dean when 7 runs were needed. The second ODI heads to Northampton on Wednesday, and New Zealand will be desperate to level the series. In Sylhet, Sri Lanka pulled off a clean sweep of Bangladesh in the 3-match T20I series. And one name dominated all 3 games: Athapaththu. Let's run through all 3 games. The first T20I saw Sri Lanka put up 161 for 4. Harshita Samaravikrama blazed to 61 of 35 balls, while Imesha Dulani chipped in with 55. Chamri also scored a steady 30-ball 32 at the start. Bangladesh needed 162 and they struggled to get going despite Sharna Akhtar's fighting 60. The top order lost 4 wickets for 5 runs and were in all sorts of trouble at 44 for 4 in the 6th over. Sharna Akhtar then put on a valiant showing with Sobna Mostri, but was never going to be enough, with the Bangla girls ending on 136 for 7, 26 runs short of the target. The new ball pacers, Malki Madra and Mithali Ayodhya, along with Chamri, all took 2 wickets apiece. In the second T20I, Sri Lanka was once again asked to bat first. This time, they posted 154 for 4. Samaravikrama again starred with 49 of 29 balls and Athapaththu knocked a steady 37-ball 42. In the chase, Bangladesh's top order got off to a more than decent start with 46 runs in the power play while losing no wickets. Kavisha Dilhadi got them their first breakthrough right after, before Bangladesh decided that they don't need to depend on the opposition to give their wickets away, as they lost their next 3 batters to run-outs. This also coincided with the 6-over phase where they scored only 1 boundary and 24 runs. Sharmeen Akhtar stayed unbeaten on 44, but also took 47 deliveries for that, something that's just not enough in modern day cricket. The lack of boundaries played a big role in the loss. Sri Lanka hit 17 fours and 2 sixes, while Bangladesh hit just 13 fours and a 6. A difference of 24 runs. They ended on 133 for 5. The winning margin, 22 runs. In a rain-affected dead rubber, the match was reduced to 9 overs aside, and Bangladesh once again opted to field first. Athapaththu showed a bit of her old self as she smashed 41 of 27 balls to almost single-handedly set Sri Lanka's target. A couple of crucial boundaries from Dil Hari in the last over helped Sri Lanka set a target of 90. The home side seemed to have clearly worked on their intent as they consistently took the attack to the Sri Lankan bowlers. Unfortunately, it still wasn't enough, as they ended 3 runs short of the target. Chamli was also the pick of the bowlers as she took 2 for 15 with the ball. She was named player of the match in the decider and player of the series. 115 runs and 4 wickets across the 3 games. The new Sri Lankan coaching setup under James Siddons has already gotten off to a flying start and will want to keep up this good work heading into the World Cup. From Sylhet to Karachi now, as Pakistan hosts Zimbabwe in a 3-match ODI series, part of the ICC Women's Championship, and was an absolute demolition from start to finish. I won't get into each of the matches, but the Pakistani openers made the most of their time on the field as they scored 300s and 350s between them to power Pakistan to a 3-0 finish. Gul Feroza finished player of the series for scoring 256 runs across 3 innings, including 2 tons. Feroza and Shamas wasn't far behind with 289 runs. For Zimbabwe, like we had discussed during the New Zealand tour too, there's still a long way before they start defeating some of the top teams. But Belevik Biza and Kelis Endelovu have once again shown glimpses of what they're capable of with consistent opportunities. The T20I leg of the tour begins on May 12th, and we can only expect more fireworks. Let's get into the big off-field news now, because 2 more nations have dropped their World Cup squads. First up, Bangladesh. The BCB announced their 15-member squad on Sunday. Nigar Sultana Jyoti will captain the side for the 3rd consecutive T20 World Cup, with Nahida Akhtar as vice-captain. This is Bangladesh's 7th appearance at the Women's T20 World Cup. They earned their place after a perfect run through the global qualifier. That form clearly counted for something at selection. The batting lineup features Dilara Akhtar, Sharmeen Akhtar Shupta, Shobna Mostri and Shorna Akhtar. The bowling will be led by Nahida and includes pace sensation Marufa Akhtar and leg spinner Rabia Khan amongst others. One notable callback was the inclusion of top order batter Taj Nihar in place of Sharmeen Sultana, who was in the team that faced Sri Lanka. Taj made her T20I debut during the last edition of the T20 World Cup and hasn't featured in a T20I in over 15 months. The selectors still believe that Nihar's power hitting ability at the back end is what they need in T20 cricket right now. Along with Bangladesh, the KNCB also announced a 15-member squad for the T20 World Cup last week. They qualified by winning 3 of their games in the Super 6 stage of the global qualifier. Captain Babit Dilida will lead the side, and she put it perfectly when she said that this will be an experience of a lifetime, not just for the players, but for everyone who has Dutch women's cricket at heart. The Big Orange are coming, and women's cricket is better for it. The squad has 2 changes from the qualifier group. Wicketkeeper Rosalie Lawrence and bowling all-rounder Lara Limhes come in. Head coach Neil McRae says the squad blends youth and experience, with batter Stir Carlos, who's been in brilliant form for Yorkshire in the Women's One Day Cup, expectedly being a key figure. The bowling attack is spearheaded by Iris Willing, with support from Frederik Overdijk and the Seeger sisters, Heather and Silver. Bangladesh and Netherlands are both placed in Group A at the World Cup, along with Australia, India, Pakistan and South Africa. Interestingly enough, they opened their campaign against each other on 14 June at Edgbaston. Before that, the 2 sides will be taking part in a tri-series hosted by Scotland from May 28 to June 4th. From thrillers to clean sweeps to squad announcements, it's been a packed week for women's cricket. The ICC Women's T20 World Cup 2026 kicks off on June 12th, and I will be covering every group match, every performance right here on this channel. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Also, drop a comment. Who do you think is going to win the World Cup? Let me know below. Until next time, keep supporting women's cricket. We'll see you soon.